Hello and welcome to the Allegany County Chamber of Commerce Candidate Forum for the 2016 Presidential General Election for Allegany County. With us this evening are candidates for Cumberland City Council. There are 5 candidates running for 2 open seats. I am Stu Zapsky, Executive Director of the Allegany County Chamber of Commerce, and I welcome you all here. I also would like to thank WFWM for allowing us to use their studios, and for Allegany College of Maryland for videotaping us this today. For reference, all candidates will be asked the same question. We will alternate who goes first. You will have up to 2 minutes to answer each question. When 30 seconds remain, you will see an indication behind me of 30 seconds remaining, and when 2 minutes is reached, a bell will be rung, and I will ask you to stop. That said, welcome, gentlemen. 5 candidates for Cumberland City Council are, from my left to right, Dave Caparelli, Eugene Frazier, Joshua Grice, John Sangiovanni, and Ben Walters. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First question goes to Dave Caparelli. Tell us about yourself, why you are running for City Council, and how you will complement the other members of Council.
Well, as the lone incumbent, I've had the pleasure of serving for 4 years already. I think I've gotten a lot of experience. I've learned a lot in those 4 years. The reason I'm running again, it's simple. I want to continue what I have started. There's a lot going on in the city right now, a lot of issues facing us, and I want to see the work through.
Thank you, Dave. Eugene.
I got involved. I worked for the railroad for 33 years. I lived here all my life. I have 3 kids that I raised here, and now I have 3 grandkids growing up in Cumberland. And I'm very concerned with our employment and our drug activities problem that's going on here in Cumberland. So that's why I got involved. I want to see what I can do to help alleviate the drug problem and get more jobs here. I have a daughter that's married to a serviceman, and they're out of the area for now, but she'd like to come back here, and there's no jobs suitable for her. And also, I'd like the jobs I'll talk about aren't just low-paying jobs. I want to see about bringing in better-paying jobs.
Thank you, Eugene. Joshua?
Yes, my wife and I own the Strawberry Dog on Virginia Avenue. Opened that about 3 years ago. I've also served as vice president of the Eastside Neighborhood Association and served with the Cumberland Neighborhood Advisory Commission. I've been working really hard to change around the things in my neighborhood, and I see that a lot of other neighborhoods don't have that leadership that mine does, and I'd like to step forward, and my experience as a business owner and a community leader, I think, will set me apart from the other candidates.
Thank you, Joshua. John?
Hi, I'm John Sangiovanni. Born and raised in Cumberland. Married to Carol for 41 years, 2 children, 2 grandchildren. I believe in Cumberland, Maryland. I'm not giving up on this town. My reasons for running are to try to improve the economic climate in Cumberland, to deal with issues of drugs, blighted property, and I would reference my 41 years of state government service. I'm very well-rounded, understand government policy, budgets, personnel, so I have a variety of personal skills and attributes that I bring to the table, and I believe I'm the person who certainly can help turn Cumberland around. I believe where we're going is on the right path. I would like to assist in as much as possible using my personal abilities and skills to enhance Cumberland's future.
Thank you, John. Ben?
Yeah, my name is Ben Walters, and I was not born and raised here. I came to Cumberland in 1977 to take a position as an airline pilot at Cumberland Airlines, and I've been working as a pilot ever since. And I believe that gives me kind of a unique perspective. I've lived in this town now since 1977. I've seen what has happened and what needs to happen, and I've seen results that have been used in other cities. And those ideas, especially blight control, which is the basis for our tax base, and the availability of jobs and economic developments. There are some great ideas out there that I will bring to the table to complement what's going on right now. I enjoy what I see, and there's more to be done, and I want to be part of that. And for experience, I can have worked with the government in the city for the Historic Preservation Commission for about 4 or 5 years, and currently I'm on the planning committee. So that's what I want to bring to the table, some fresh ideas, some new ideas.
Thank you, Ben. Next question. We'll go to Eugene Frazier first. Aging infrastructure in the city, including roads and water systems, is a challenge citywide. What is the best way to prioritize and fund these projects?
Well, first of all, I think this. I think that our roads definitely need to be improved. I mean, all of us know what it's like to hit potholes. I hit them myself all the time in Cumberland. So, I think that's number one, is to get our roads in order, because I want to bring businesses here, and the only way we're going to get businesses here is if we, improve our infrastructure. No one's going to want to come here the way we look now. And I like what they're doing now as far as, trying to get rid of the blighted properties. I think we need to continue that program and get rid of them. I'm not 100% satisfied with the way they're doing some of it, so I'm sure we'll address that later on, during this forum. So I think that that's all for now.
Thank you, Eugene. Joshua?
Yeah, I believe that Cumberland is going in a good direction as far as the city streets paving projects that we have now. I think that things have been really prioritized for the main thoroughfares, and a lot of those have been fixed and have started getting revamped as far as sidewalks and streets and stuff like that. We've had the Virginia Avenue project, the Maryland Avenue project, the Baltimore Avenue project. All of those have gone really, really well. And I think the way that they're prioritizing things with the main thoroughfares first is an excellent way to go. Myself, our neighborhood has lost probably 10 blighted properties recently, so I'm really happy with that. I don't think that I would change a whole lot the way that things are going. I think that things are happening fast, and Cumberland is changing fast. So I'm pretty happy with that portion of things.
Thank you, Joshua. John?
Well, I would agree. I believe Cumberland's on the right track. I certainly agree that the paving process is going quite well. I'm actually pretty impressed with the progress that's being made. I certainly would support that. I think we still have a ways to go. Some of the neighborhood streets need some improvement. So I believe we should start prioritizing neighborhoods and work on what we can do to develop a paving process in some of the neighborhoods. Now, I understand there's some bond money available, and there's been other creative ways to get the money necessary to do that. I certainly would support any future plans that would allow that to continue. Once we get the streets under control, I believe then maintenance has to take over. On the subject of infrastructure with water and sewer, some aging water lines up to 100 years old certainly need replaced. If we put forth a plan, which I think we should, and we should prioritize that as well as the streets, how you repair, what you repair, and when you repair, all certainly have to take its place. If there's additional monies and funds available, which I understand at times there are from water revenues and sewage revenues, now would be the time to start to invest. Again, Cumberland only moves ahead forward with good infrastructure. I've been preaching since I started this process. Infrastructure needs addressed. Time has come, time to move on. So I believe anything that helps enhance the looks of the city and the infrastructure, which is the hidden part of the city, needs to be addressed, and I'm all in favor of it, and will do anything I possibly can to support it.
Thank you, John. Ben?
Yeah, I think we've all driven over our Cumberland streets. A long time ago, I think maybe 10 or 13 years ago, the city did a study and paid for a study to prioritize the streets. And they've gone along that list. I've talked to our engineer, Defonso, about that. I like what I see. They're going right down the list. Of course, sometimes you have to reprioritize, especially if somebody wants to do a business somewhere and needs additional infrastructure. That's great. I also like where the funding has come from. Some of the ideas from the city, low-income housing for the Maryland Avenue project, that kind of thing, some federal funds for that. I hope that other funds for that, we'll be looking for those. But basically, as long as we stay on track with the prioritization that has been done according to the study, I think we'll be fine when it comes to the streets. I know there's always people say my street is worse than yours, but in reality, we really come down to it. There are still some streets in Cumberland have never been paved, and they're not on a priority list, so we may have to look at those.
Thank you, Ben. Dave?
We definitely have an aging infrastructure. That's no secret. I think this directly relates to the downtown project, the downtown revitalization project. We're looking at totally redoing all the infrastructure, also providing fiber for downtown. We've continued each year, year after year, annually to increase funds for new roads, and to combat blight. Last year, we also, through Washington Street and a few other places, replaced all new valves, which helps with the flow of our water that can help prevent future breaks in some of our lines. And over the past couple of years, we also worked closely and secured funds through our delegation for the multi-million-dollar combined sewage overflow project. So I think we're on the right course. It took a long time to get to this point. We're not going to fix it overnight, but we're definitely going in the right direction.
Thank you, David. Next question goes to Joshua Grice first. What is your opinion of the proposed storage tank at the Eugene Mason Complex as a solution to the combined stormwater overflow requirements mandated by the Maryland Department of the Environment?
I know a little bit about the project that's going on down there, but to speak of the proposed storage tank, I honestly could not speak on that, so I'm sorry.
Thank you, Joshua. John?
Well, I understand the process as well, and I'm a little concerned. Again, we end up with an overflow problem, so I think the city should, I think we're headed in the right direction. I'm sure the city would really very much like to enhance that project as much as possible and get that under control. And I understand the overflow problem, and I understand the Department of Environment and their concerns. But Cumberland, needs, again, to address the problem. I think the best way to do that is continue studies and to start the project and continue it through to see what's the best results. I think that we can control it, and we have to stop the overflow. So I think with a little bit of effort, a little bit of foresight, and again, always addressing the issues, I think we need to stay on top of it, and I think the project will work, and I fully support it, and I think over time we will see some positive results.
Thank you, John. Ben?
Well, the construction of the tank is quite expensive, but it is a good temporary solution, a stopgap measure. As long as we see it as that, it's a good solution. I think what we need to do is start addressing where our next expansion will be in the city, the next growth, and mandate that those areas be separate storm and separate sewer. And if you start doing that, and then slowly and surely, as we repair things, work towards the treatment plants, little by little, because there's no way we could afford it ever. Without federal help, state help, the delegation maybe get involved. But as a temporary stopgap, it is a good solution.
Thank you, Ben. Dave?
Well, obviously, separating lines, I think it starts and ends there. Way too costly for the city. I believe this is the only way to address the problem. And, we went through this whole process. It was approved by the MDE, and studies have shown it's been working in other places as well. So I think separating the lines through the city is just out of the question. I think it's the only way to remedy this issue.
Thank you, Dave. Eugene?
I'm going to be like Josh. I'm not really that familiar with this here. I mean, I've heard a little bit about it, so I can't really answer on it intelligently, and I'm not going to try to. What I will tell you is this here. One of the things I'm good at doing is I will address this problem. I will learn more. So at the next forum, if this is asked, I will be able to address it. And at this time, I can't.
Thank you, Eugene. The next question goes to John Zangiovanni. What is your long-term vision for Canal Place, including the shops, festival grounds, and the footer building? Would you be in favor of pursuing funding to complete the rewatering of the C&O Canal?
Simple answer is yes. I believe that is, since we talk tourism in Cumberland, we talk about it a lot, I believe there's an opportunity there. I think at some point it needs to move forward. Now, I understand the Footer Dye Works is an expensive project, and I believe that if with some concerted efforts, we can maybe make that place work a little better. Canal Place shops, very attractive place. Parade grounds all seem to work well. My experiences down there have been all positive. Attracting businesses needs to really occur quickly. I believe that we can make that an attractive site. Years ago, we used to have Rail Fest and we used to have Canal Fest. All those things brought people downtown. It kind of needs to be regenerated. The Footer Dye Works, I understand the project. I would like to see it move forward, and I understand it's very expensive and we spent millions of dollars of taxpayers' money. I would hope that we could find some way to really enhance that property and make sure it becomes a viable source of income for the city and the state, county as well. As to rewatering the canal, goes hand in hand with the railroad. That's Cumberland's past. I believe in Cumberland's past, and I think it would be a good tourist attraction. To rewater the canal, I'm in favor of it. I understand the railroad problem and why they stopped the canal where they did. It seems to me if you go to Georgetown and look, you can ride a canal boat. If you can ride a steam train and a canal boat, I think it's quite an attraction. So I would support anything and do my very best to certainly make sure that it gets to fruition.
Thank you, John. Ben?
Well, now that Cumberland has basically decided to use tourism as one of their main income sources, we really have to look at Canal Place and the downtown area. And if you have any city that utilizes their water access, you will see that tourism will really grow. So rewatering the canal itself for a certain length is wonderful. I think we should do that, part of Canal Place. But more so, we should use the river. That is something that has not been used at all, and we should use it definitely. Try to make that part of Cumberland. We used to have the Cumberland Canoe Club before there was a country club, and I'm not expecting another club like that to form, but it very well could. And I believe tourism will really go to a river. So that's one thing we want to do. And when it comes to the Food or Die building, that's on the way now. Somebody has taken it private hands, is working hard with it hand in hand with government money, and so let's let it play out for what it is. I'm for it. I hope it all works out well. We can always use some more economic development in Cumberland. That's one of the things I think we'll do very well.
Thank you, Ben. Dave?
When I first came on board, at the beginning of my first term, the footer building was the hot topic at the time. As we sit now, the railroad station offices are full. The shops at Canal Place are full. Over the last 2 sessions ago, our delegation helped us secure funds for the funding gap at the footer building, and it's continuing on schedule. So let's, go back here, maybe what was it, 1994, when all this began, this whole concept, and we're still working on it. Everything was supposed to be completed by now. Obviously, the footer building is still in progress. The hotel's been there a couple years now. I'm totally in favor of rewatering the canal to complete this project. It's my understanding that there has been some talk at federal levels at this time to potentially follow up on that project. I think it would complete Canal Place. The grounds are well utilized. It's a beautiful park. And I think it would go hand in hand with the railroad and bring more people to downtown Cumberland. I hope to see it through and hope we can secure funding in the future for it.
Thank you, Dave. Eugene?
Yes, in answer to your question, yes, I'm in favor of pursuing funding for that area down there. I've been to a few events down there, thoroughly enjoy them. I think that, like everyone else has said here, I think that, to have be able to be a boat on there on that canal, along with our scenic railroad, and all, I think would be a positive for Cumberland and for our tourism industry. And I'm definitely in favor of our tourism industry because I just read an article on Hagerstown or Washington County actually, and their tourism business is doing quite well. So hopefully we can take some pointers from them. And but like I said, I would like to see that definitely rewatered. And like I said, like Dave said, maybe we can get some government funding or whatever. And as far as the foot or dive building is concerned, it's something that has been started, so we need to finish it. We don't need to have stuff sitting around here like we do other places around the city, sitting there in limbo. That needs to be done. Hopefully we can get a restaurant in there. We thought we had one now. Maybe we'll have one here in the near future, and maybe get some lofts, apartments and all up top's what I understand. So I'm in favor of that too.
Thank you, Eugene. Joshua?
So I'm absolutely in favor of rewatering the canal. Extremely happy with the renovations that are happening at Footer Place. I believe that the shops will do a lot better with Footer bringing in that other clientele. I believe that the shops will definitely just do better with those other people being down there. As far as the rewatering and stuff, I think that that's really just going to be a huge benefit to the shops. As far as the festival grounds and stuff like that, I think are beautiful. I think that just completing that whole entire thing and making it one cohesive unit is just going to be the best thing for that area.
Thank you, Joshua.